Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? How we doing? Do my eyes deceive me? Is this the club I grew up with, the club I've grown to love? I don't believe it. Manchester United are on a tear. On a tear. We've got two here we goes in the same day. One coming, one going. And we sold a youngster, but somehow the guy we bought is even younger. Leny Yoro is on the way in, snubbing Real Madrid, coming to the biggest club in the world. That's not named Real Madrid. Manchester United. And then Mason Greenwood is sold to Marseille for a decent deal and some money that is going to be very helpful in the coffers of Dan Ashworth and co., who are buccaneering through Europe and just having a barnstormer of a transfer window. We're early, but everything we're seeing is very exciting for this Muppet because we're doing deals, buyback, sell-on clause, structured the right way, incremental pricing, so it's slightly higher, but we spread it out over 3 years because of financial fair play and we're cash-strapped. These guys, do they know what they're doing?
No, it's unbelievable. This is for them to be able to start in earnest this quickly and with the urgency that they have. I feel like Ashworth has definitely been around the table for a while now.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing that play out. I did kind of say when you have that gardening leave situation, you're allowed to run into people and not talk about business, but you might talk about business type of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Barada and Ashworth kind of ran into each other with Wilcox and they talked about all these moves. But man, we're seeing a pace to the deals, the conviction in the deals, also the terms, Greenwood with the 50% sell-on clause. That is just so smart and something we never saw from Ed Woodward and co. And I feel like we're comparing professionals to just numpties. So it's just going to be always amazing, the difference. And so the question is, why did the Glazers give Ed Woodward and Arnold so much rope and they ended up hanging themselves with it? I mean, to not recognize or to not know what you don't know and then hire the guy is incredible. They never did that from a director of football perspective. And it's so refreshing that we finally have some serious individuals with some serious CVs doing the job, because Murtaugh came in with Moyes as a trainer and then somehow was doing Paella brother deals in Barcelona. And now we're seeing what a serious front office looks like. I feel like we are checking the socials and just keep getting blown away by the terms and the transactions, the pace, how we're able to do multiple at one time. And it's not that rumor slog over and over in these sagas through this summer where we don't get these players or we panic buy players. So refreshing, and it's so nice to know that whole thing is just dead and done. And United aren't going to be bullied or pushed around the transfer window. We got serious people, and it's a great day. It's a great day, and plenty more business to do.
I'm cracking one open for our new boys up top, sir. Like you said, it's like, it befuddles you how the Glazers could make such decisions. It's almost like people who inherited their wealth are not quite as crafty as people who built it from the ground up and is now the first or second richest guy in England and one of the richest guys in the world. And I'll tell you what, wherever he was the day of the Euro final, I want to be there because he looked like he's having a great time. But like you said, it's like you can't even compare it. You can't even compare it. We went from bottom of the league in terms of competency from a front office perspective to literally an elite top three globally front office. And I don't say that lightly. And
can you believe it?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And also it's more in the sense of it's even hard to compare to those guys because it's apples to oranges, because it's you almost feel bad for them because they should have, Darren Fletcher should have never gotten that job. John Murtaugh shouldn't have got that job. Richard Arnold shouldn't have been a CEO. And they were put in a position by numpty owners who had no idea what they're doing and didn't care to fix it. And now these guys have come in, and all of a sudden they've been here since February, and they are just making moves. Like you said, it's pace of play, concurrent deals at the same time, structuring it, payment terms, buyback, sell on. It's all this shit.
And selling players.
Donnie Van de Beek off the books. Mason Greenwood off the books.
Selling players. It was insane how he just wouldn't cut bait. It's
Ever.
like you have to cut bait. All elite clubs. Look at City. Exactly like Sir Alex. Like Cancelo doesn't get along with the manager. Gone.
You're out.
He was amazing.
Rude. That was rude.
No, exactly. But like that's a sign of a club who just says, we don't care how good you are. Like nobody's bigger than the club, and United kept hanging on to these deals and hanging on. But sir, before we break down the transfer news, quick PSA for the podcast. You like the American Red Devils? We're now on YouTube. Please check us out. Check out our YouTube channel, American Red Devils. Search it, like, subscribe. We're getting our channel off the ground in 24-25. We think it's going to be a big season for Manchester United, and it's a big step up for this podcast. Also, comment on our YouTube channel. Best comment gets read out on the podcast as the Muppet of the Week. If you want to go the extra mile, check out our Patreon page. We don't have any commercial sponsors. We're completely independent fan content. All these bad takes are our own, so nobody's influencing us. The Muppet take lives well thanks to our fans who go the extra mile, support us on Patreon. You can check it out, patreon.com/American Red Devils. We do a behind the scenes episode every single month. Tons of other benefits. Please check it out. If Patreon's not your thing, we have a store. Scarves. You don't like the Glazers? Glazers out, scarves on sale. ARD shirts, stickers, beanies, hoodies, blankets, everything. Pins, great pins, legendary pins. Please check it out. Support the pod. We are a small-time operation. We need it. And also check out our website, AmericanRedDevils.com. Got great fan-generated blog content, songs. If you want to learn more about different chants and songs for Manchester United or the history of United, it is all laid out there. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews.
Beyond the ways that John mentioned to support the pod, iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews wherever you listen. It's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself. And we're continuing to give away free merch. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify and send a screenshot to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com. And we will send you some free ARD gear. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. And keep them coming. They keep us happy. They keep me smiling. And we appreciate all the support we get. We're doing it live, baby. We're on YouTube. It's a brave new world. Sweating our asses off. It's fucking hot. It's not hot outside, but it's hot in here.
No, absolutely, sir. And you know what? We are closing some deals here on the pod.
A, B, C. A, always B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Close or you hit the bricks.
Close or you hit the bricks. Leny Yoro close. Per Fabrizio Romano. It doesn't get better than that. Leny Yoro to Manchester United. Here we go. Does anyone think that phrase is overrated? I do. Deal in place after the first part of the medical was completed. More tests to follow. He's ready to sign the 5-year deal, valid until June 2029. Apparently, it's 50 million euros. We heard 50 million plus 12. Ornstein had some different figures. It will all come out over time. This is just the initial reporting. But the young center back coming up in the game, coming to Manchester United. How are we feeling?
Well, sir, I got to ask you one thing. How do you feel? He's not Dutch. Doesn't play in the Dutch league. And has no connection, no prior connection to Erik ten Hag. So, because actually, the center back they were closest to as of a week ago checked all those boxes.
I mean, look, he is French, right? He's 18. It's going to be a 5-year deal, most likely with an extra year. You're wrapping him up through his early 20s, which is great. I just think it's one of those things with a young center back. It is a decent price tag. You remember Gabriel, who plays for Arsenal, we were in for him. That was in the 20s. This is 50. He's clearly highly rated, but he's a ball-playing center back, right? He passes the ball, right? Like his tackles and interceptions, all those stats are like decently lower from Football Reference, but his passing stats are off the charts. And again, we have to dominate the ball for him to be effective because he's not a killer defender. Martinez would be that. But he's a great passer, short to medium passer of the ball. So he will help us in build-up play. Plus, he's quick. He scores goals, right? But looking at his stats, he's not a bruiser with a crazy challenge, right? And I think in the EPL, the defending side of the game if we're getting cooked with 20 shots at home, he's going to be doing a lot of work that he isn't used to. And that is the question I have for this signing.
Yeah. Let me give a take. Leny Yoro. I mean, okay, this is different than De Ligt. De Ligt was the old Leny Yoro in many ways, right?
Yes.
Like broke onto the scene super young, playing at a high level, playing in the Champions League, right? So Leny Yoro, he's got the third most minutes for an under 21 player in the top 5 leagues in Europe. He's one of the most highly rated center backs to come out of France. He's being compared to Varane quite a bit because he's very good in 2 of the areas that you mentioned. He's very good with the ball at his feet. He's a very good passer, and he's very good in the air. He's not as good as like a one-on-one tackler like you mentioned. That's where Martinez shines. But you're buying a bit of like he's a player now, but the potential, you're buying a big ceiling. So I'm sure Ineos and co are thinking about resale value. This is the thing, the things that concern me. So obviously in the pro camp, it's like one of the highest rated youngsters in all of Europe for his position, if not the highest for center backs. I mean, Real Madrid were like fighting this for him. His upper like ceiling is huge. He has played like highest level football already. Downside is he wants to go to Real Madrid eventually. So that's fine because like would we have taken the Ronaldo transfer back if we could just because he's going to Real Madrid? No, like we love those years. So if he wants to stay for 5-6, that's fine. But like you said, he's coming to the most physical, the fastest league in the entire world, and he is coming from the French league, and he is a young lad. And my concern is I hope we also buy De Ligt and sell one of Lindelof and Maguire to take some pressure off of him. So obviously if you kept Maguire, take some off, but it's a big step up to Manchester United because if he joined Real Madrid, he wasn't starting.
Well, here's the deal. It's like 50 million. You're right. You're buying the potential. It's clear he's sort of a wonder kid coming out of France. Top center back prospect in like all the world, right? Highly rated. That's why the money is on here. Also, there's going to be value to resell him if he's this young. Tons of potential, but he needs a year realistically to get up, to build up the muscle. He's fast. He's got the profile, but like I said, it's like when you get punched in the teeth, how do you react? And the EPL is going to be quite a few punches in the teeth for this youngster. And I hope we do get a De Ligt to give him the cover so we're just not like sending him out there every week to get cooked, because that can't happen to a player like this. And I just want United to dominate the ball. So like if you're signing players to dominate the ball, which, Ashworth and co are, I kind of want Erik ten Hag, the general, to get us to do that. And Leny Yoro will go a long way. But Sir Alex knew how to get a youngster up to speed. And I feel like Sir Alex could really manage this type of signing where he wouldn't start him right away. He'd work him in games where we have a lead. And that's the type of development we really need from this youngster. And I hope he succeeds at United, but a big signing in a new direction. We're getting younger, right? And that's a key trade from Dan Ashworth. And I would say a marquee signing of the summer. Watching center back highlights is hysterical. So,
We won't know anything until like September on this guy because he's going to need time to adjust. He is coming up preseason. That's the rumor. He'll be on part of the U.S. tour. He won't be in Edinburgh. And like you said, it's like he needs cover. We need to play better, so he's just not under as much pressure. We need we need to unfortunately replace Casemiro because he can't play in the EPL no more. At least how we set up. And like you said, it's like get another player in, take some of the pressure off him, but he's got a huge upside potential. I like it's the right profile of player, and the way they proceeded around this deal, it pissed off Everton, and I like that. So they were going after Brainwith. They wanted like Everton wanted like 70 million pounds, let alone euros. I think we got to like 55 with add-ons, and they want us to go even higher. And instead, they went for a player who's obviously not EPL proven, but probably has a higher ceiling than Brainwith does. For 42 million pounds, probably the same fee that we're hearing for De Ligt. So it's a good type of signing. And we didn't overpay, at least on paper. So I'm excited about this. Like transfer market value, like hits it right on the head. We usually 2x or 3x that. Like I'm sure if you looked at the Anthony deal, his value before we bought him was like 20 million euros.
The only weird part about this deal is that he only has a year left. So it's quite a price to pay for only a year left. I do trust in Ashworth and co. But, like I said, he has the profile. He's coming to a big club. A little concerned he didn't want United first. That's also those are like little,
Di Maria. Remember?
I know.
He didn't want United first
You want United. You want them to want United
because the Lit wanted United.
We
The
want
Lit's like
dog.
chomping at
Exactly.
United. Brainwith
exactly.
wants United.
So I'm
That's
hoping
true.
Euro's the real deal here, but this is a big signing for Ashworth and Co. And speaking of Ashworth and Co., it came out, Laurie Whitwell. I'm told the compensation for Ashworth is about £2.5 million. Getting the best director of football in the game is one thing. Paying £2.5 million to Newcastle, who are a bunch of blowhards,
Well said.
is
They are.
another, man.
They're the worst.
Dude, 20 million, yada yada yada. They act tough, and this is hysterical that they paid £2.5 million because you can't prevent somebody they are just throwing mud in the press. That's all they do. You heard the what was the Qatar bid when they were like, oh, they're lying,
Same
and
shit,
bro. And they were like, we're gonna sue them. Whatever happened to that?
Yeah, where they at, bro?
Just a lot of hot air. You get a lot of hot air from that region, sir, when it comes to the footballing game.
No, I mean this is good. Newcastle paid £2 million allegedly to get Ashworth in the first place from Brighton. So paying what 30% more than that is not bad, especially because, like you said, it's like he wants to come join Manchester United. What are you gonna do? Like stop him from going and joining the team that he wants? So this just shows astute.
It's bad
business
faith,
dealing.
throwing mud. Like City
It's just a City
racket.
relented with Omar quickly.
Just sore losers.
No, because they're small mentality, bro. It's like there's a reason that they ain't won shit in years, and also like
Newcastle.
Look at that, bro.
It's
they think our rival. It's the best. They don't like us now, and they're barking ever since the EFL final. They're just like we're just laughing.
No, it's true. They are. I would say Newcastle is kind of becoming more of a rival to Manchester United right now, just because of where we find ourselves in the table. And going up to St. James's Park isn't easy for United. Us getting one over on them in the EFL final is a big deal for us. So we're kind of in the mud with the Villas and the Newcastles of the world, unfortunately. Prove me wrong on that front, but that's kind of where we are.
I mean, based on performance, I would agree. Based on like where we are on the league table last year and
Yes.
probably next year, I would agree.
Yes.
But
how do you disagree?
Just because that's not how the only way you judge a football team. How much are they worth? How much are we worth? How many fans do they have? How many leagues have they won? When's the last time they won?
Shitfootball.com. Holiday sale.
I'm just saying, last year, they finished ahead of the table. They didn't win shit, and they're out of Europe. So I'm laughing.
Shitfootball.com holiday sale.
Coming back, baby. It's coming back.
That's all you need to know. As far as next signings, sir, apparently we're linked to sign another center back. It's going to be DeLitt or Brainwave. Tell me what you think on the center back watch.
I would prefer Brainwith because he's EPL proven and a little younger and a little less Dutch. Even though I'm very supportive of DeLitt at the right price. I feel like DeLitt's more likely because he's going to be cheaper. Because I think Bayern don't, the new company at Bayern doesn't rate him, and obviously he's very keen on coming to United, which both players are, to be honest. So you can't lose. I think DeLitt just got more experience, and he's played at all the big, loads of big clubs, Juventus and Bayern Munich. So I think that helps. But Brainway's got a high ceiling, and he can hang in the EPL, and you could put him in.
So you're gonna say Brainwave?
No, I take DeLitt. I said.
Oh, okay.
Either way. I was painting a positive on either, but like I'd probably take DeLitt
DeLitt
the
all
price.
day. You need. This is going to be opportunistic because DeLitt only wants United. Bayern want to move the wages. They're being a little cheeky on the upfront fee.
They are.
I think they were like 50-60 million euro. It's like, no way. Like shove it.
New sheriff in town,
it's
boys.
Like, take your sauerkraut. You know what? Bayern Munich. It's like, I think this is where you're going to see Ashworth and Co. add value. If we can get like a 35 or a 28 plus something for a DeLitt, because you just let them wait and then they might crack. And same with Everton. So this is how you run the game. You sign the young center.
It's so nice. It's so good to see.
No, but we've talked about this on the pod so much. It's like you sign the young guy that gives you cover, so you're not desperate for the center back. And then you're like, you got Brainwave and DeLitt. You can smoke them off of each other. Somebody's going to give because they need the cash. It's a different era. And this is how you run it. You run the game. And it's like, and then it's like, who's going to get the 40 million pound check from Manchester United? Is it going to be Everton? Is it going to be Bayern? No one else is showing up to buy Brainwaste. No one else is showing up to buy DeLit. We got him right where we want him, sir.
And they both want Manchester United. They both want Manchester United and only Manchester United, and you understand why. And like you said, this is how you do business. And also, the element that you didn't mention is concurrently they're running sale processes, at least lightly, on both Lindelof and Maguire. So, like, if and when they do get to a price...
I haven't heard much smoke on that front.
That's what I think is coming next, because it's like they're not going to buy another center back unless they sell one of our center backs, i.e. Lindelof and Maguire. Obviously, I think Maguire could justify a much higher price, given he's a higher quality player. But that's going to be interesting to watch. But like you said, it's like we were in fucking black and white for the last 11 years. And like somebody mentioned about us going onto YouTube, we're in Technicolor. It's like a different, it's fundamentally different than how we've operated every transfer window we've seen since Ferguson retired.
Wheeling and dealing. And speaking of wheeling and dealing, Mason Greenwood to Marseille. Here we go. Just from Fabrizio Romano. We're going to get 30 million euros plus 50% sell on deal through 2029. Great job getting him off the books. Looking back on this one, the fact anyone would pay 30 million and give us a sell on clause, it's a solid transaction for United. We need the money. Got to get Greenwood out. Should have got him off the books before, but Richard Arnold was running the show, and boy, did he bottle that one. I don't need to tell you what that was like. So,
oh my God.
Glad Ineos is making smart moves and continue to do so. Mason Greenwood gone from Manchester United. Great to see.
No, it's great to see. This is just one of those stories where it's good because we don't have to talk about Mason Greenwood anymore. We get the wages off our books. We get the gentleman off our books, and we get 30 million euros plus maybe upside if he kicks ass in La Liga, or in League One, and then maybe, heads to another league. So great deal. Most importantly, getting deals done. Getting Donny Van de Beek off the books for whatever you can get.
Who?
Exactly. Kamwala, getting a deal instead of a loan to nowhere. Get him sold.
Like, you can actually
his future.
You can actually buy and
you
sell
can do
players.
Deals.
And you can do good deals to make the team better. No way. It's
you
like.
Want to hear something shocking?
What?
He is the 6th highest sale we've ever made. That's it. 30 million euros is our 6th highest sale. But hey, there's
number one is CR7.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, that was in fucking 2009, bro. 15 years ago.
And that was a deal at the time.
It was a steal. He's worth double.
But he wanted to go. Sir
same
Alex was class.
That's what Lenny will do to us in 5-6 years.
He told him we'll give him 1 year more.
So the real story is we traded one bad mustache in France for a new bad mustache in France. That just keeping it light. But this is a great deal to do. It's a great deal to do early in the window and get it off the books. And you know what? Now we have some more money to play with, right?
Speaking of more money to play with, AWB on his last year of his contract. You rate the English right back. What do you think about Aaron Wan-Bissaka maybe saying goodbye to Manchester United?
I mean, who am I to question the process at this point? These people know what they're doing. They have a depth chart. They have, obviously, they have targets in mind. The thing for me is I do think he's very good at his specialty. Like one-on-one defending if we're up against a top side. You have to replace him now. He is EPL proven, and he can hang against any team, literally any team in the world, because he's such a good one-on-one defender. Obviously, leaves a lot to be desired from an attacking perspective, but you have to go replace him now. And I think any good player that's going to be able to, okay, you're assuming Deleuze, you're starting right back, that's fine. But we also, left back is shoddy, and you can push Deleuze to the left back if both Shaw and Marseille never comes back, and then AWB plays right back. So it's I'm a little worried about this, but they must know what they're doing, because I would, maybe I'm hearkening too much back to the old days and I just give them a new contract, but I feel like AWB has had a little bit of a resurgence the last 12 months. So
no, you got to make a call. You got to make a call at right back, and this is the right call. Look, I think Deleuze and AWB are both bluffers. I mean, do either of those players play at City or Liverpool? No, they don't. Deleuze doesn't start. AWB doesn't start. AWB can't attack. Deleuze can't defend. You got to do both. In the modern game, I would argue right and left back is literally probably the most important position on the pitch. And Luke Shaw, when he's healthy, we're a different team. When he's unhealthy, which is often, we barely can, like, we're playing Amrabat. I'm a robot back there. It's like it,
Poor bastard. Getting cooked.
like the whole point of football in 2024 is literally the overloads from the right back and having them get into midfield, and like it opens up everything for the wingers and the attackers. It's like you need players who are elite at that position. And AWB, I would probably rate him higher than Delo, but he's the one we're choosing to get rid of. And I'm glad Ineos is making a call because we got to upgrade here in a big way, and I hope that's what they're thinking, because at the end of the day, these are two positions you cannot mess about with. Like you can re-sign McTominay in the midfield and get away with it, but you cannot get away with a right back that can't defend or a right back that can't attack in 24-25. And I just think we've been so one-dimensional because these two positions have been riddled with injuries and players that aren't the full package. And I would argue you need like elite talent at these positions that are like no joke, and we do not have it.
No, I take your point, and it's a good point. Part of me has like a personal I like the guy. I've always liked the guy since we signed him from Palace.
But he can't attack.
No, but let me just finish, sir. But I'm also agreeing with you. But like my only concern is not that like we should double down and stick with AWB for the future. It's like I'm worried about the amount of wood we have to chop in the fullback position, because left back is uncertain. Right, Shaw is elite. He's an elite left back when fit, but like you said, he's seldom fit. He look at the last 5 years, he's good to miss basically half a season every season, like clockwork. And then Marseille is like finally returning to individual training, but at this point, you almost assume that like, he might become a coach because it's just not I've never seen like this where a guy had a whole year off and he's still not even training with the squad. And then, like you said, I think Delo would be a great.
We saw
backup.
Sancho. Sancho had that kind of half a year not training with the squad. Remember?
That's true, but he didn't
go great.
He was not injured. I'm talking about a guy.
Something else is going on, and it's not great with
Malacia.
Yeah, so
that's possible. Okay, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's true. We have a history with players and non-physical reasons for why they're absent from the squad. But I don't know. Either way, that was my only concern. Is if you sell UB, you got a lot of work to do because you still got to buy another left back.
We need money, and I think
how much can you sell him for? 20,
15, yeah.
15, 20.
But that's something, and you can loan.
Yeah, you can loan. I guess you could do the loan, and his wages are you could probably do like for like wages. We'll see. They're making moves, so they know what they're doing. They're going to make mistakes, but at least they're making the right type of moves, and I think they're doing good small ball. They are making calls, and you know what? It's about just making a fucking decision half the time. Instead of just like, blah. Remember like these windows that would just be like, we're considering. That was painful. And now,
you need to just make decisions and then like move on. Like AWB, are you going to re-sign him next year? If you're not, you sell him. You get something. Like the whole idea is
that is right, yes.
So if you look at what I have shared here, it's all the players in every position. Obviously, players can swap out in multiple positions, but just like a high level of like when the contracts are up. AWB's contract's up next summer. If you're not planning on re-signing him, you sell him for 15 now because you're going to get something rather than nothing. And the Glazers usually get nothing, but now Ineos is going to get something. And that's the whole thesis behind it, is that you're going to have to replace him anyway. So might as well sell him and do it sooner rather than later. Looking at the contracts, the big holes in the squad that you're looking at, left back, right back, huge concern because Malacia nowhere to be seen. Luke Shaw's locked up through 27, but he's going to be injured this season. Same with a left-footed center back. Martinez is the only one. And, Ten Hag all last season said he can't play the way he wants to play because he doesn't have that left-footed center back. We just re-signed Johnny Evans, which is good for the center back coverage. AWB getting rid of him, then you only have Delo, and the midfield is really thin. Eriksson, by the way, he still plays for United. He has a new deal coming up in 25. McTominay has a new deal coming up in 25. Tons of decisions need to be made. Same with Hannibal, new deal in 25. I wouldn't be surprised if we dealt him. And then on the right wing, we heard rumors that Ahmad might be signing a new deal because he's up in 25 as well. So the squad has tons of holes. It's really the midfield, left and right back are a concern for me. Goalie, we're stacked. And then center back, Maguire up in 25, Lindelof up in 25. And obviously we just ditched Kwambala. So Yoro comes in, he's through 29. So Ineos is making moves. This gives you a roadmap of kind of where we are, where we need to go. So much wood to chop, like you said. It'd be interesting to see if we can get AWB over the line.
But like you said, we showed this, a week, 10 days ago, and it's already out of date, which is good because they're actually getting work done, right? Hoyland is not the only number 9. We also have Xerxes. He's behind that. Martinez is not the only left-footed center back. We've got Lenny behind him. Kamwala's out. But like you said, fullbacks are still a concern. Midfield needs a shit ton of turnover. We're hearing McTominay offers. Casemiro's gone quiet, but he's the most obvious one that needs to get replaced. Hannibal, they're probably going to sell him to. But like you said, it's like, you're right. Make a decision, execute the decision, move forward. That is the modus operandi moving forward, is just like make a call and do it. Instead of being like, blah, 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 blah. They're making decisions and they're making moves. And you know what? That's what we have to do because there's, like you said, so much wood to chop. But they brought in wood choppers, bro. They brought in like pros. These guys know how to fucking chop wood. They are legit.
So, and that's what you're seeing, right? They're already adjusting this map. They listen to the pod. Ashworth's like, hey, you know what? The American Devils, they got this thing. We got to fill in the left-footed center back already. Of the 2025 contract expirations, who do you sign from this list?
So I sign Amad Diallo. He's the first on the list to get a new deal. My ideal is like you sell Lindelof, up Maguire, because he's so reliable and he's good against he's very good against half the teams in the league. Those are the plays I probably re-up, right? Because we decided on AWB. I think you convinced me that he's got to go. But that's probably it. I mean, that like from the 25s, Bruno needs a new deal. I'd give him a raise, give him whatever he wants.
I do McTominay too.
New deal?
I give him a new deal
Yeah,
just because he should be, and what I mean should be, a like Manchester United squad player through and through, right? He can bomb forward and come on late, try to score goals. He can sit in a 2 in the midfield, right? He is kind of a utility player, does it all. He has a great attitude. Mourinho kind of validated that one as well. Every manager has also validated that. So I think that's one you extend. You extend Maguire. And like you said, Ahmad, it'd be too early to... You don't know. Ahmad is one of those where you don't know yet. But this season, you got to find out. And that's why I was so pissed with Ten Hag last year, where it's like, you got to figure out who's the guy to keep, Ahmad or Palestre. And I just don't think we ever got enough data or starts or looks at Ahmad or Palestre really to make the decision. It's almost like you got to make the connect. Is Ahmad the guy? Do we give him a new deal? I think we are, but does he deserve it? Does Ahmad deserve a new deal? I don't know.
He deserves a new deal because he's still young and you want to capture that upside before you piss him off and run him into the last year contract, and then he can talk to people in January, because it won't be that expensive to re-up him. You give him a little bit more cash and it still gives you, you could sell him if he makes it even better. And we got to sell Palestre for his own sake and for ours. And it's like, I'd like to dish Sancho so there's one less spot open, and then Ahmad would be kind of like a default rotation player, because I really think there's a player there. I think he's got unbelievable balance. He's got both footed. He's got that dog mentality. He's a hard worker. So you have to re-sign him. Like, you'd be crazy not to, because you spent $40 million on him when he's 18 or 17, and all of a sudden, like, he's finally like scoring goals in quarterfinals of FA Cups that get us that cup. You gotta give it a punt, right?
No, I agree. And Ineos is already doing the smart moves. Like, they're already going to re-sign the guys who are expiring a year now. They're going to deal with it, and they're going to sell the guys with only a year left on their deal now. I mean, like, look at this list of players, and it's clear what their game plan is. They're going to clean up everybody, lock up everyone long-term, and then you're going to be able to see where the contracts are after this summer, and you're going to know what we're going to do next summer. And most likely, left back or right back will be the priority next summer, because you're going to literally look at the contracts and make sense of what's going on, versus what the Woodward and Arnold era, which is like literally like you sign Ahmad and Palestre, like, and Anthony and Jadon Sancho. Like, we have enough people that can play on the right, it's like, it made no sense what they were doing. We don't have any strikers, and you keep signing wingers. I like, it would just
right wingers.
It's like my mind was exploding, and it's just like, it made no sense. And now it's so refreshing to have Ashworth and Ineos and Wilcox and everybody working through this stuff, because, oh my God, it's been a brutal decade. I can't believe it's been a decade.
11 years actually. But you're right. There's actually a method to the madness now. They're actually looking at the depth chart, like us Muppets do. I'm sure some of you do too. And be like, where are the holes? Where are we vulnerable? Where can we lose a player for free? Where could we, where could whatever? And they're thinking about it thoughtfully instead of being like, hey, we have 2 number 10s already. We should totally buy Donny van de Beek for £40 million for no reason. So this is exciting. They have a shit ton of work to do. I mean, they inherited a fucking mess. They inherited a proper mess. Like, I do not envy the job they have on their hands, but it is clear they have put together an elite team, and that elite team did not get started on July 1st. Like you said, they have been in cahoots. They've been going to the Ivy in Manchester, having a coffee, having a chat, who we like, and they hit the fucking ground running, and they are running, and we got a lot of track left. But these boys look fit. I tell you what, they look a lot more fit than we looked at Rosenborg. So
damn straight.
Keep it up, lads. Keep it up.
Sir, that is the podcast, keeping you posted here on all the transfer updates this summer. What a summer it's been so far. I feel like we just started after the Euros finished. If you like the America Red Devils, please like, subscribe, comment on YouTube. Also, check out our store, americadevils.store, our Patreon, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Tons of benefits there. Please check it out. Go the extra mile. Support this small-time operation. And also, like, subscribe, iTunes, Spotify, rate us, do all that stuff. It's just me and Alex. 2 Muppets trying to get the Muppet take out there. Sir, give us our top 10 downloads last 7 days. What do we got here from our international coverage of the ARD fam?
Number 1, how you doing? Chicago, Illinois, Dublin, Ireland, Los Angeles, California, Brooklyn, New York, New York, Oslo, Norway, Philly, PA, Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, and last but not least, Melbourne, Australia. We appreciate all the America Devils listening week in, week out. We couldn't do it without you. We've got a lot to look forward to. Check out our YouTube. We are live on YouTube, and the future is bright, Manchester United fans.
We're not live, but in a sense, we are alive and on YouTube.
We're live on YouTube. We exist on YouTube, so.
Like, if you follow the pod, that's like strong Alex logic. Like, we are alive and on YouTube, which is technically live on YouTube.
And sweating. It is officially hot in the pod room, or
it
is it borderline?
It is. Everybody have a great week. We'll keep you posted. Hopefully some more transfers incoming next week before the start of the season. Everybody knows we need it. We're leaving you with, "Oh, Manchester is wonderful."